I bought my first ewe, which is an incredible situation, in 1953. And I have advised young lads, farmer sons who are in national school, do the same as what I did. Get them, invest in a ewe or two and work from there.
Good morning, Eamon here in Mullingar Showgrounds at their annual show on the 14th of July here in Mullingar in County Westmeath. I'm here today with Ewan Bannon, a man that's involved in the Mullingar show for absolute years, and Ewan is going to tell us a little bit of the history of the Mullingar show. Ewan, good afternoon or good morning, and it's very good to have you here, and it's great to get a minute of your time. So can you tell us a little bit about the Mullingar show, please?
This course in Mullingar years ago, and they had each year they had a day for the show in the racecourse. Then the racecourse was sold, so they had to look for new grounds, and they came out here onto the Castle Pollard Road and they purchased a farm completely, and they owned the farm entirely of their own shareholders. And from that day on, it has been growing and growing and growing in popularity.
What year did they buy it? Can you remember what year
it was
roughly?
Bought roughly 1968.
And
roughly.
And have you any idea of the price that?
No, all I know is that land within that time was making between 100 and 300 pounds per acre.
And how many acres in this block here?
That I can't say. There could be 65 acres.
65 acres, right.
And it's leased. Part of it is leased as a golf driving range. Part of it is leased for schools pony riding during the off season when the show doesn't take place. So it has various uses.
And it's not just strictly for the show.
No, the show is just a one-day event, this second Sunday in July.
And who's involved in the show, and how big is the committee?
Well, the committee would be, I'm not sure of the size of the committee. I personally am not on the committee. I do work for them. I did work on the public address on the judging of cattle and sheep for about 25 years, up till 2012. I still am involved in being with them, but not working. The chairman at the present time is Christopher Dolan, and we unfortunately lost one of our top members during the year, Oliver Moore. It was a sad parting that we lost Oliver, and he was really the kingpin from the day World War One.
Okay, thank you very much for that brilliant information. And you're a sheep farmer yourself, and maybe you talk a little bit about your own.
I'm a sheep farmer. I specialise in breeding Belfair pedigrees. I studied it from a launch in 1979 when it was first launched. It's an Irish breed. It's genetically produced by Seamus Hanrahan, a geneticist, top-class geneticist, and from that we have been developing the breed, interbreeding between ourselves, and at the moment we think we have nearly the best sheep in the country.
And what advantage have those breeds over some of the Texans or some of the more traditional breeds that were so used of?
It's called, if you were in the north of Ireland, they'd call it a composite, because it's the making of different bloodlines put together, and it includes some Texel, Galway, and Finn landrace. Some of them are for better milk production, and some of them are for, the Clin is another one that's in it, and that is for lamb production, numbers. So at the moment, if a person had a flock of ordinary commercial sheep and they didn't get the numbers of lambs that they would like to have, all they have to do is buy a Belfair Ram. He has the gene in him to pass on to the daughters of those ewes the ability to produce 30% more lambs than the mothers.
So because you take the best out of the 3 or 4 different breeds you mentioned, and you combine them into this new, probably more mature and more a better breed.
Yeah, well, the breed now can have ewe grades quite common in the factory, and they can quite common have an average of 1.8 reared lambs per ewe.
Okay, just before I let you go, because you want to go back, because you have some sheep here today that you want to show. But no more than yourself, you're a long-time farmer. What advice would you give to a young farmer today? Would you advise him to go into sheep?
Well, if you put it this way, I'd advise him to start young. That's the first thing. I bought my first ewe, which is an incredible situation, in 1953. So that's a while ago.
Right.
And I've been in them ever since.
You must have bought them when you were in the cost.
I was in national school.
Right.
And I have advised young lads, farmer sons who are in national school, do the same as what I did. Get them, invest in a ewe or two and work from there.
Thank you very, very much, because I think it's important for people like you and me to encourage the young generation to take up agriculture, because there's 7 or 8 billion people in the world to be fed, and we older guys won't be able to continue to do it forever, and we need young blood into the situation. Thank you very much, Ewan, and thank you for your time.
Belir was 53, just a young lad you see, with a farmer's heart beating wild and strong inside of me. Didn't matter if I was small, I had a fire in my soul. But my first sheep stood up tall, ready to take control. They called it a big boys game, but I wasn't afraid to play. This land whispers ancient rhymes, I heard it calling every day. Worked my hands, rolling the way, from sun up till the night. A farmer's life, come what may, standing strong in the fields of light.